What is up, guys? We are here with a Toro Rosso gameplay of none other than Pierre, the man who just got confirmed recently to drive at Malaysia and Japan. Um, what can I say? I mean, if you look at my avatar on YouTube, you can tell it's Pierre Gasly, so I'm obviously very excited and happy. And it's about time that this has happened, but nonetheless, we're going to get into the gameplay. If you watch my other videos, you know this is not a novelty. I use Pierre Gasly in career mode, so but nonetheless I figured I'd give a bit of a gameplay. We won't see him in Abu Dhabi in real life, so I figured might as well hop on and just have a nice little 25% race with the Frenchman himself. You can see we've got a different helmet to the normal one we would use, the one that uses in Super Formula, but we are in pursuit of I believe it's Esteban Ocon, who is just ahead of us under the cover of darkness. The car is shiny as anything, and the helmet is as close to matte as possible. We're going to cruise up to the back of Esteban Ocon ever so slowly, and we're going to make a nice little lunge, nice and soft lunge into the chicane. And you might notice in this race, as well as the next career mode that will be out in a few days, how different the racing is. I've changed a few things on the controllers, on my controller, as we get a virtual safety car. That was a Mercedes to the side of the road. The race just seems a lot more realistic, if that makes sense. Like, it's not all over the place, it's a lot more smooth and stuff like that. But here's Valtteri Bottas. I'm not quite sure what happened with him, to be honest with you. He's just going along and boom, he gets a puncture and he almost gets T-boned by a Ferrari for good measure. But yeah, in terms of the actual racing, it's a lot more realistic, a lot more smooth. I'm not quite sure why that is. After the last two career mode races, I did up the difficulty up by 10, just to improve hopefully the competitiveness of the AI, as we won 2 races in a row, which I think is pretty ridiculous. But so yeah, and then since I've done that, I've also changed it. Like I said, I changed some of the controller features, mostly the vibrations, so I can feel it in the whole controller, so I have to drive properly rather than just erratic and all over the place. But this really was frustrating. So we're going to get our tyres, we get the green light, we get the Haas pull in front of us, the Renault goes past, Force India goes past, Red Bull's already gone, we get a Williams go past, and for added measure, the Haas actually gets past us again. So the Haas made time to come in way behind us, get out and go. So we have to pass quite a lot of cars to get back to where he was. I don't think we're going to be able to achieve the 4th place that we could have got with Bottas being so far back, but we're going to do as best we can to try and make our way back up the field. We've got to go past the Haas into this little complex of I would say it's a stadium complex, but maybe stadium's a bit too much of a reach for that area. But we're going to come across the line, we're going to take a few positions off the cars that are pit, and we should be back to about P9, give or take. You can see Ocon is coming out of the pit lane, so it's going to be extremely close between Massa, ourselves and Ocon. There he is, the man in the pink car. They almost make contact, which would be absolutely awful if that had happened, but I'm going to do what we can to make up as much positions. But yeah, in terms of the racing, it's just a lot more smoother. Like, there's no silly moves. I don't know if it's just me and it probably looks no different, but it feels incredibly different and a lot more rewarding in a sense. It's just really weird. But yeah, like, I'm actually probably having to fight and having to wait for the right move to present itself. The second half of this race actually opened up a lot more than the first half, because we were stuck behind Massa for quite a bit, and we're just flying through the field at this point. We're already up to the back of, I believe, Sergio Perez. So we've split the Force Indians. We're in a Force India sandwich at the moment. I guess they're the ham, and I can't think of anything blue. But anyway, we're going to go up the side of Sergio Perez. We're going to brake a little bit before the braking zone, just so he doesn't get DRS on us. I'm pretty sure I did that with Ocon as well, but skip quite a bit later on lap 12, and we've actually managed to catch up to Daniel Ricciardo. So we have absolutely blitzed it, more or less. We have got such good pace on these tyres compared to the Ultra Soft, which is absolutely mad. So I think this is a better race tyre, but you can see we have got the pace on our senior teammate. We're going to pop down his inside, nice and clean, no questions asked. We did the same thing again, brake before the DRS detection zone. But here is Nico Hulkenberg a few laps before the end of the race. His engine actually blew, so it's very similar to what happened in Singapore, bless him. He'll never ever get that podium, so he's just going to sit there, and you can see he just goes across the little bit of the circuit, which I think is really weird. I've never seen the AI actually use other parts of the track, but it's lap 14. We were catching Verstappen. I'd say about 5 more laps and we would have had him, so we would have had P4, but after everything that happened, I think P5's a fairly good result. Yeah, it's again, this kind of racing is so much fun, especially the Malaysian race in career mode, because in championship mode I've really struggled in Malaysia, using the contemporary cars at least. So it was refreshing to drive like this. I mean, qualifying I wouldn't say as much, but definitely in the racing is a whole lot better. But anyway, Pierre Gasly, I hope he does amazing. I hope he doesn't do what Giovinazzi did when he came into Formula 1, but I'm very hopeful that Pierre will be very successful in the 2 races he will do, and obviously kind of cement the position he will have for the 2018 season. I don't see anyone else being able to take that second Toro Rosso seat with Danny Kvyat. So yeah, fingers crossed it all goes good, and hopefully Pierre can also win the Super Formula Championship. He's half a point behind the leader with 1 race to go. Fingers crossed. If he does that, it'll be absolutely fantastic. I'll be so proud of him. Supporting him for a while, and obviously seeing him come through GP2. It was a struggle. It was a struggle being a Pierre Gasly fan, but nonetheless, that's been it for this video, guys. Until next time, bye bye.